play to get our season to this point. And obviously, things here are outstanding. I think they have done a wonderful job organizing not just the logistical matters, but the day-to-day organizations of each institution being in one spot, being in one city. Whenever you have an absence of a tournament and you're being selected and earning a right to be in its next format, this is a unique time in our country. It's a unique time, in our game. And I just truly think the leadership has done a great job getting us to this point. I want to thank our president, Harlan Sands, our senior VP, Forrest Faison, and our athletic director, Scott Garrett, for having a plan in place ever since things got shut down at the very beginning, and obviously being able to get to this point in our season. Our young men of the program, they have done a resilient job. They've done everything we have asked along the way, and they've just continued to give their very best. And I definitely want to thank them. And that's pretty much it. We're thankful to be here.
Awesome. We'll roll into questions. First up is Tim.
Dennis, first off, of course, congratulations on your team making it. With the run you guys had in the Horizon League, triple overtime game, the comeback against Milwaukee, what do you feel like the team got out of those 3 games? Because obviously you needed those obviously in the tournament. What do you feel like they got out of what they were able to do in those 3 games?
Well, I think that's a great question. If you look at, I believe, our first game against Detroit, or our first game in the month of March, I think when you look at that part of the season, it started to come together for our guys, meaning everything that you have worked for at the very beginning has allowed you to get to a point of maturation and identity. And going through those moments, whether it was our loss where Milwaukee came back, or even us fighting from behind, getting the lead, or even a triple overtime game, and you had to make certain plays in the last second or last possession. Also, you're looking at the semifinal game against Milwaukee again, where we took the lead finally in the last minute. Those things has helped us get to a championship, meaning win one. And I truly believe that's the madness that happens in March. That's also the magic. And we've been on the good side of the opportunities and situations. And I think our team has grown.
When you look at Houston, obviously they're plus 20 or so in scoring differential. They're one of the best rebounding teams in the country. What, when you watch the film, sticks out the most to you about them?
Kelvin Sampson, 660 wins. That sticks out more than anything. He's a veteran in our game. And you add that equation of this team, this is probably his most talented team he's had in my eyes, because they're multi-dimensional. They have some great guards. They have great rebounding, which is an identity that he has carried over throughout every stop in his tenure. It's just amazing to see it being put together. I just thought along the way, you add the guard scoring, they are more equipped to run in transition than his teams in the past. But also the unselfishness that they play with is very tough to do. These are some versatile guards he has, and some very tough post players.
Thank you.
We'll go to Bob.
Hey, Coach. I wanted to ask, how do you compare this experience, this tournament, pre-tournament experience with as a head coach to the ones that you had previously as an assistant?
Well, I think it's unique. It's very unique because of this. No one has an edge on anyone when it comes to this type of environment. And you look at what everyone is going through. There's not one case study or one year where it was similar to this that anyone's experience could say that, yeah, I know how to deal with this. I know how to plan. I know how to manage. This is unique. And the best part about it is also one of the unique parts and the worst part. The worst part is whenever you've gone to a tournament, you've had coaches, whereas they've had this experience. I can't relate this experience to none of my assistant coaching experiences as we've moved forward in each game in the tournament. because you're not dealing with the same dynamics. Here we are in a bubble, everyone in the same city. And, it just comes down to making sure our young men are prepared, which is what the crux of each tournament is. And that's the opportunity to play their very best. I just hope when it comes down to the logistics, everyone is happy and extremely satisfied with us having a tournament. I think that is the highlight of it all, because we were all away from a year ago looking at how this season would even go. So my hat's off to all those workers in between who may not get the credit. Their involvement in this is allowing it to move as smooth as it is. And I'm just thankful that we are having a tournament, as every other coach in the country is.
I also had a question for Tori, if I could.
Tori will be up. Bob, Tori will be up next.
Okay, gotcha.
We'll move on to Carter.
Hey, Coach, congratulations on the run to the NCAA tournament. I'm just kind of curious, what are your thoughts of Indianapolis, and kind of what are your first impressions, and what are the first couple of days been since you've arrived?
Well, I think it's been amazing. We are a group that don't complain about anything. I think I've put that in the hearts and in the spirits of our guys. I've taught them how to be thankful, how to find the glimpse of hope in a rough time, how to also be able to protect their dream. Meaning, if this is your dream to be in the NCAA tournament and play on April 5th, nothing should get in the way logistically, whether it's a bus being late, whether it's food being cold, or whatever things you can complain about in life. You have to find and protect your dream and highlight the bright spots. And the bright spot is we're in the tournament, and post-pandemic, we're in the first of its kind. And here we are representing Cleveland State University in our Horizon League. So for us, man, we're thankful to be here.
Jeff Shadell.
Coach, how are you and your team embracing the underdog role in this tournament?
Well, we don't talk about that type of thing. We just talk about being our very best. That's what we talk about. That's what we speak about. At the very beginning, March 12th, I spoke to my team about April 5th in Atlanta. That's what I spoke to them about. And April 5th was the national championship game. We broke our season down in phases. Phase 1 was anything preseason and conference. We want to put ourselves in the best position to go into phase 2, which is our conference tournament, only 120 minutes. And then if we take care of those 120 minutes in our conference tournament, it ended up 135 this year because of the triple overtime. And the guys told me, Coach, you were wrong, but they lived their creed. They did certain things to get us to this third phase, which is where we are. Now, along the way of giving your very best every day and not really looking at that philosophy that you have, Jeff, we've bumped into a regular season championship. Along the way of looking far beyond the conference and conference tournament, we bumped into and was able to earn a Horizon League postseason tournament and a berth into where our last but not least the third phase lie. And you can't have the third phase without the second phase and taking care of that business. So our guys, our reach, our vision has been far beyond the short term. And we've wanted to concentrate, yes, on each minute we play. We didn't even look at games. I don't talk about games or wins or losses. I talk about minutes. And we speak about minutes because my favorite poem, which is what I share with these guys, is Just a Minute by Benjamin E. Mays. I've only just a minute, only 60 seconds in it. Forced upon me, can't refuse it. I didn't seek it, I didn't choose it, but it's up to me to use it. I must suffer if I lose it, give an account if I abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, but eternity is in it. We don't go by records, we go by minutes. And the most important minute is the one that we play on Friday night. We're only as good as our next minute.
That's a great answer. Then what is going to be the key to you guys winning this first game?
Giving our very best, and playing our very best. We have to make sure we're able to do that. No one can win a game at this level without playing their very best. And our guys know the expectation. They know what I expect from them, but also ultimately being able to withstand the hurdles of what the University of Houston has done and has traditionally done. The best thing about March is this: two teams can play their very, very best, but only one team is able to move forward. It's the madness and the magic.
We'll move on over to Joseph.
Coach Gates, thank you for taking the time to do this. I'm curious. Yesterday you posted the picture of Coach Sampson's book and the message he left. As a young GAA, what kind of impression or impact does that make when someone does something like that?
Well, first of all, I've been taught how to build bridges and allow people to cross them that may not have the same opportunities you have had. I posted that picture not for you guys, not for me. I posted it for those GAs that's out there, those people that's out there in high school, because you got to think about this. For the last 2 years, there has been a group of young people not able to experience the Final Four of meeting coaches. The same thing is going to apply right now. Imagine how many coaches are where they are right now. And I'm one of them because of me walking past somebody at the Final Four convention and rubbing shoulders. Imagine that. That has been totally stripped away. So I put that on there because simply this: I want to inspire the people to be able to sort of, okay, I know what you guys are going through. I was a GA, but the advice I gave in that same tweet was, number one, ask questions. You don't have to be at the convention just to ask questions. You got to pick up the phone and use your ingenuity now to figure out how you can ask someone questions. I was afforded the opportunity to ask Calvin Sampson at the age of 23 questions in a car ride for an hour and 15 minutes. And I made sure I took the long route so I can have an extra 15 minutes along the way, right? I didn't know what he was going to say. I knew it was going to be memorable. I didn't know it was going to be so impactful. Number two, I want all these young people to do their very best. Sometimes you don't know what you don't know. You can't see where your life is going to be at. I didn't know I was going to be in the NCAA tournament facing Calvin Sampson, but I knew some of the nuggets he gave me during that moment would inspire me to give my very best. The third advice I said was make sure you keep two hands on the wheel, right? And I said that because, Lord forbid, if I got a ticket or anything else, he probably wouldn't have sent me that book. That means I did a good job, but ultimately you got to keep two hands on your career and not be panicky in those dark moments when you don't see where your career is going, because you got to have some faith. So that's symbolic for keeping two hands on the wheel, and you got to give back. There's not a time I didn't speak to a young group of GAs. I actually, during this time last year, if you look at some old tweets, I sent the tweets out to all GAs and all coaches, challenging them to please reach out to these young people who may not have the opportunity to meet you. If they inbox you, respond. Because of our business is we sharpen each other through our interactions, and many coaches were born, coaching careers were born in something that has been absent and will be absent in these next 2 years. So I just wanted to extend myself to all those GAs and inspiring director of ops who may one day go through what I'm going through, is going through what I'm going through, or had went through, but also let them know these small conversations add up. And that small conversation with Calvin Sampson added up. It gave me inspiration in where I am today.
We'll go to you, Tom.
Thank you, Billy. Thank you, Coach Gates. I wanted to follow up on that. First of all, you'd be a hell of a cab driver taking them on the long run. That's how you get the fare jacked up a little bit. What nuggets stuck with you from that conversation, Dennis? What impacted you in terms of being inspired by Kelvin? What sat with you for a while?
And I want you guys to understand this. This was before I met Leonard Hamilton. This was before I met Leonard Hamilton and after I met George Raveling and had been working Jordan Camp with George Raveling for years. The one thing that stands out is being able to, the business is not predicated on the success of where you see people. If you look at his career, He started at a school that ended with tech, right? You know what I mean? So for me to understand that here I am in a car with a guy who was a GA for Michigan State when Magic Johnson was on the team, and he's worked his way through where he is. And at that time, he was coming off the Elite Eight, right? And at that time, he was in charge of USA basketball grassroots or coaching a USA under 19 team. So for me, it speaks volumes for not where you are, but once you get through all the terrain and work and give, you're going to get to the other side of it, and other side of it will, and that processes of going through it will be what makes you who you are. And I never gave up on myself. That book sits on my desk everywhere that I have gone. That book sits on the shelf if I didn't have space on my desk everywhere that I have gone. And when I moved into my office, that was a book that I put on my shelf at Cleveland State University. And ever since then, I've been inspired by those words.
And you said last week that this team stands on the shoulder of the dudes that were on the 86 and the 09 team.
No question.
Have you heard from those guys in the past week? And what has been the feedback in terms just from the CSU community in general about getting into the tournament?
Right. Well, ever since my first day on the job, the first thing I did was visit John McClendon's gravesite, which is located in Cleveland Heights, Ohio. The first thing I did. The second thing I did was contact Kevin Mackey, who is actually here in Indianapolis, and he lives here. He was the head coach for the Sweet 16 team and currently works for the Indiana Pacers. There hasn't been a time I hadn't called those guys, but also add to that Gary Waters. Gary Waters was an assistant coach for Ben Braun, the college coach I played for at Cal. He was assistant coach at Eastern Michigan. One of the first calls I made, that was the third thing I did. And ultimately reach out to the players, the Pat Viancheks, right? The Mouse McFaddens. Those guys, we stand on their shoulders. Why wouldn't I want to hear a story of something that I'm trying to build? To understand what I need to build on top of, I need to understand at the grassroots level, the foundations. I got to respect that. My players got to respect everything to do with what we are trying to embark on, and they have respectfully done so. There's not a time I don't reference it. There's not a time I don't talk to a Norris Cole, right? So those things is a part of our fabric, and I want our guys to really understand that, as you know, especially Torrey Patton, you know, being able to be from Dayton, he knows his Dayton brethren, Norris Cole, and you know, it speaks volumes to how special this place is for all those men I have mentioned. I've reached out to John McClendon's family. So those things is just out of respect. And when you give respect, which is what I teach my guys, that's when you're prepared to possibly receive it if someone is willing to give it. You may not get it back, but you got to err on the side of giving it without expecting it back.
Thank you.
And we will wrap up with, or actually we got two more. We'll do two more, then we'll go to Tori. We'll go with Bob Ferrante, and then we'll go back to you, Joseph.
Hey, Coach. Good afternoon from Tallahassee. Hope you're doing well.
Oh, we got the Tallahassee guys here.
Got to check in on you.
I appreciate it.
I know you've probably answered a lot of these questions before, but you know, as a young assistant, you're compiling a notebook of what you want to do, how you want to build a program. How did Leonard Hamilton help shape your ideas of building a program, culture, all those good things?
Man, look, there's nothing I don't do right now without calling Leonard Hamilton or trying to figure out what he thinks. Coach, what you think? Coach, what you think about this? Coach. I'll call him at 3 o'clock in the morning. Coach, what you think? I know the answer to it. I just need to hear it, because the time that what I miss most is taking my laptop, sitting in his office and just being a fly on the wall. I miss those days, but I can still get them and gain them in retrospect with a call. And hopefully I'm making him proud, because I know he put his arms around a perfect stranger who said on the first day, Coach, I want to be just like you. So a little bit of me, I hope he sees himself. And I hope I'm making him proud along the way, because I stand on his shoulders. Our defensive system is from the Leonard Hamilton Junkyard Dog philosophy. You know, everything that I do now, the way I walk, the way I talk is because I sat in these post-game press conferences, NCAA pre deals. I stood by the curtains listening. I went to his radio station or radio show every Wednesday night just to see how he interacts, see how he answered questions, in hopes that I can get a little bit of residue on my shoulder so that one day I can be a successful head coach. Hopefully I'm making him proud. Hopefully I'm making George Raveling proud. Hopefully I'm making Ben Braun proud and all those who believed in me to be their assistant. But also hopefully I'm making my high school coach proud and all the kids along the way that have played for me, allowed me to recruit them. And obviously the people that gave me this opportunity, President Harlan Sands and Athletic Director Scott Garrett. Hopefully we're making them proud. I'm making them proud. And I'm just excited for our staff and our players for being here.
And we will wrap up with one more from Joseph.
Well, Coach, we're very familiar with Ben Braun down here. Great guy down in Houston. My last question, Coach, was that, Houston's a very deep guard lineup roster, but a lot of what they do goes through Grimes. And I was wondering, from what you've seen from number 24, what stands out just about his ability at times to sort of take over games if you don't defend him.
Well, he's a absolutely great and phenomenal player. I have nothing but respect for what he has done because he had faced some obstacles at Kansas and he was able to find a niche and a place that obviously respects him. He's playing 32 minutes a game, 18 points a game, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. He's shooting 40%, 80% from the free throw line, 40 from 3. He's a great player, man. I have nothing but respect for that young man, and not just him. He has some great members on the team. And like I said, this is one of Coach Sampson's most versatile teams. And I truly believe they're underseeded. I think they are a number 1 seed caliber team. I really do. And I'm not saying that just because we're playing them. I'm not saying that because Coach Sampson wrote a note in my book. I really mean when I see this team can compete in any Power 5 conference. And I was in the ACC for years. This team is a team that can compete for a title in the ACC. This team can compete for a title in the Pac-12. This team can compete for a title. I'm talking about regular season against the best programs in the country. And that's what I think about the caliber of talent that's between the lines, but also the style of play that they obviously go about their games with.
Thank you.
No problem.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate your time. And we will move on to Tori.
Well, thank you guys again. Go Vikes.
All right, so we will open up to questions for Tori. Again, if you'd like to ask him a question, please type it in the chat. I know Bob McDonald, you have a question, so Bob, we can start with you.
Yeah, Tori. Coach Gates actually answered this question on his own, but I wanted to ask you as well. Have you had an opportunity to talk to any of the former players from the 2009 or the 86 team? And if you did, what kind of advice did they have about kind of approaching this particular set of games that are coming up?
Yeah, I actually talk to Norris Cole pretty often. He reaches out to me earlier in the season and throughout the season, just giving me his support and just telling me to just stay in a moment and enjoy it. I mean, he talked to me about being here in March Madness and having Selection Sunday, and how he really always remembers those days, and these are some of the best times of our lives. So he really just spoke on me just enjoying the moment.
All right, next up we got Tim.
Tori, you and Coach Gates came together in Cleveland State in 2019. You've been together the last 2 years. What did when he was trying to get you to come over to Cleveland State, what did he sell you on, and how much of that how much of where you are now is just was part of the pitch that he felt like if you were able to get to Cleveland, you'd be able to make it to the NCAA tournament?
I just feel like I just thought he was just a genuine dude. Just having conversations with him, I really believed in what he was saying and what he thought I could do to help the team. I really believed in it. I talked to some of my previous coaches who had relationships with him, and they just gave me all good things about him and told me a lot of good things about him. And that was pretty much it.
When you go back to the last 3 games of the Horizon League tournament, what do you hope those 3 games showed people about what you feel this team can do?
I think it just shows our resiliency. I feel like from them 3 games, we got a lot of experience, a lot of learning lessons from them games that I hope will carry over into the tournament. I mean, it showed how good we can battle adversity as a team and how locked in we stay in during the ups and downs.
All right, Carter, you're up.
Hey, Tori, congrats on making it to the NCAA tournament. I'm just curious, I asked Coach this as well, kind of your early impressions of Indianapolis and the tournament environment so far, and just kind of what have you seen so far, and what have you liked?
I feel like I love it so far. I've been enjoying every moment of it. Pretty used to the lifestyle from, throughout the whole season with the whole quarantine lifestyle, staying in our rooms. But I really like it. It's a beautiful city. The facilities are great. Everything's been well so far.
Thank you.
All right, Robert Fenders, you're up.
Yeah, Tori. Obviously, there are so many moving parts into this matchup against Houston, but just for you to go up against Quentin Grimes, how much are you relishing that opportunity to go up against one of the better guards in the country?
It's a great opportunity for me and my teammates going against Grimes and also a really good Houston team that's well coached. I mean, I feel like we'll be excited to have that opportunity to play on, the biggest stage that college basketball has to offer. So I feel like we'll be excited, and we're very fortunate to be in this situation.
And how much of his game have you kind of studied since you got the matchup?
Can you say that again?
Yeah. Since you guys Houston, how much have you looked at the film to see, his ability and his talents on the court?
Hey, Robert, do you mind typing your question in the chat? You're breaking up a little bit, so if you could just type it in the chat, that would be great. And while you're doing that, we'll let Steven ask his question, and then Robert will come back to you.
Hey, Tori, thank you very much for doing this. I got a wacky question for you. Everybody knows the One Shining Moment song and all that. I'm curious, as a kid, anything like that, did you ever kind of pretend to be hitting a buzzer beater or anything kind of to that song?
Everybody knows about the One Shining Moment. I feel like, as a kid, everybody has that dream to do that, to make it to March Madness. And, it was basically just a dream for me. I never, really imagined me being here in this moment. So I'm very fortunate to be here, and I'm happy.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have any questions for Tori while we wait for, actually, here comes Robert's question in now. So Tori, Robert's question is, how much film have you watched of Grimes since you knew you were playing Houston?
I've really, watched this game a lot through high school and college, so I'm really familiar with him already. I know he's a really good player and a really good shooter who, takes a lot of threes and makes a lot of threes. So he's a guy we really gonna have to key in on.
And we'll go to Tom Withers.
Thanks, Billy. Thanks, Tori. Appreciate your time. Hey, I'm just curious, for people that don't know Coach Gates, when they ask you to describe him, what do you say?
Indescribable. Now I'm just playing. I say he's just a genuine dude. He's gonna tell you exactly how he feels. He's gonna, shoot you straight. He's not gonna sugarcoat anything. He's gonna really he's just a guy you can really be comfortable around. I feel like he makes you comfortable. He seems like he can just hold a conversation with somebody forever. it just makes you feel calm and enjoy the conversation.
And pretty much everything he's told you guys, when he told you at OU, when you gave up the 40 straight points, that it would be adversity and it would make you better, and everything he's told you along the way has basically kind of come true. What has that done for the team's confidence? Just the fact that you guys have stuck to what he said, were able to win a conference championship, and now you're in the tournament.
I feel like we just learned a lot of lessons. And, he just let us know that he believes in us. So we really haven't been paying a lot of attention to the outside noise. We really just believe in one another and the coaching staff, and they pump us with a lot of confidence and tell us that they believe in us, each and every day. And I feel like that has helped us along the way.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, if nothing else for Tori, appreciate everyone hopping on.
I have a question for Tori Patton. This is Coach Gates from Cleveland State University men's basketball program. Tori Patton, can you describe your teammates and what it means to them to be here?
My teammates and my brothers, man, they're excited to be here, very excited to be here. I feel like here at Cleveland State, shout out to Coach Gates. I feel like he does a good job of making it a family environment. So my teammates, we're all brothers, and we're excited about being in this situation and moment.
Now, last question, Billy, if you don't mind. Sorry. Again, Coach Gates from Cleveland State University. Tori Patton, can you speak about the staff here and what their influence has been individually? Go through each staff member. Please let us know how does the team feel about those guys from the assistant coaches? Coach Joyce, Coach Summers, and Coach Harbaugh.
Well, I feel like we love them guys. Starting out with Coach Summers, I feel like he does a great job of, coming in every day with an outstanding amount of energy, which I feel like is contagious to the team. Seeing a guy just jump around, be so happy every single day. I feel like that just makes us all want to be, just as energetic. Coach Harbaugh, that's my dude. He's a good guy. He gets on us a lot. He makes sure we locked in. I feel like he keeps us on point. Coach Nutt, that's my man. He's definitely going to fill you up with compliments, make you feel good about yourself. He gets everybody going, everybody in the right shape. Coach Rosby, my dude, JUCO, came from South Florida, I think, JUCO. So he's a JUCO dude, just like myself. So I feel like I can relate to him to that sense of having some of the same past. Coach Joyce, that's my dude. He my rival a little bit. Him, going to St. V and us playing St. V in high school. So he get on me about that a lot. But Coach Joyce, that's my dude. I love that guy. Am I missing somebody?
Coach Chase.
Oh yeah, Chase, man, that's my dude. He makes sure we all good every single day. He makes sure everybody got what they need. Make sure everybody got everything squared away. So my guy too.
We have one more question, Billy.
Yeah, I see. Bob, we'll let you finish up.
I don't know if I can follow that up. Tori, I know in the past, we've talked about the team, this kind of team dynamic that Cleveland State has, from the guys on the floor to the guys on the bench, especially the bench mob are a big part of that, obviously. How do you see how important is that in team unit when you're going into the situation that you're going to be in coming, against Houston?
I feel like it's big, and I feel like it's been big for us the entire season, especially with, us not having fans and, us having to pump each other with confidence and energy and us feeding off each other. So having that support come from the bench goes a long way for us, and I feel like it has helped us a lot throughout the season.
Awesome. Well, if nothing else for Tori, again, I appreciate everyone hopping on today. Thank you to Coach Gates and Tori for your time. If anyone needs anything from me these next few days, please feel free to reach out. More than happy to assist with whatever you all may need. Thank
Billy.
you all.
Thanks, Billy.
Thanks, Billy.
Billy, thank you.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
You need me still, Billy, or no? I'm good. All right. See
You're
you,
good,
man.
Coach. Thank you.
Okay.